Tilly loved strange things. She collected buttons shaped like stars, spoons from forgotten places, and marbles that shimmered in moonlight. But on a cloudy Sunday morning at the town flea market, she found something truly odd: a chipped porcelain teacup with a swirling gold design at the bottom. It sat quietly on an old woman's cluttered table between a bird-shaped compass and a melted candle clock. "How much for the teacup?" Tilly asked. The woman smiled, slow and knowing. "That one," she said. "Careful. It stirs more than tea." Tilly grinned. She didn't know what that meant, but it sounded like a challenge. That afternoon, she poured warm milk into the teacup, sat cross-legged by her window, and took a sip. The moment the milk touched her lips, the room began to ripple, like water in a puddle after a pebble lands. Everything shimmered, the walls bent, the light flickered. Then silence. When the room came back into focus, it was different. The wallpaper was floral. The furniture was old. A family she'd never seen walked through her kitchen in black and white clothes, laughing and speaking softly, but they couldn't see her. Tilly gasped. "I think I traveled through tea." That night she tried again, this time with cocoa, swirl, glow, sip. Suddenly she was in the future. Her house floated on a silver platform in the clouds. Flying scooters zipped past. Her pet cat had glowing eyes. A billboard read, "Welcome to 2050, breakfast in a bubble." Tilly nearly dropped her teacup in awe. Over the next week, she experimented. Orange juice took her to the 1980s. Neon lights, disco music, and walkie-talkies the size of bricks. Rainwater took her all the way to the dinosaur era, where a curious bird lizard tried to eat her shoelaces. Soup led her to a medieval village, where she was briefly mistaken for a wizard because of her hoodie. Each trip lasted just a few minutes. She'd return to her room and mark her adventure in a notebook titled Tilly's Time Map. But the teacup had rules, ones she didn't yet understand. One stormy evening, curious and bold, Tilly tried to mix milk and orange juice. The cup trembled, glowed white-hot. A loud pop filled the room, and she was suddenly trapped in a loop. The same moment kept happening. The thunder, the wind, her spoon clattering to the floor, again and again and again. Panicked, she shouted, "Stop it! Let me out!" Suddenly, a silvery fox with clockwork eyes appeared beside her bed. Its fur shimmered like polished timepieces. "You mixed what should not mix," said a voice inside her head, calm, kind, echoing like a forgotten lullaby. "Time doesn't like confusion." Then the fox nudged the cup, and everything went dark. When Tilly opened her eyes, the world was silent. Her house was crumbling. Ivy and roots snaked across the floor. Outside, her neighborhood was gone. Just stone and sky and whispering wind. She wandered through the ruins, heart thudding. On a dusty shelf, she found something familiar. Her notebook, old and brittle, its last page read, in her own handwriting, "I couldn't fix time, but maybe someone else will." Tears welled in her eyes. Had she caused this? Or had she seen a version of what could be? Then came the whisper again. "You've seen what time forgets. Now choose what time remembers." The fox stared at her with glowing, gentle eyes. It bowed once, then vanished. Tilly picked up the teacup one last time, now glowing faintly gold. She sipped. The world whirled, faster this time. Colors and shadows and years spinning past. When it stopped, she was back at the flea market. Only everything looked newer, sleeker. Across the market, at the same cluttered table, sat an old woman with kind eyes and wild curly hair. Tilly looked closer. It was her, older, wiser, still curious. She watched as a little girl approached the table and reached for the chipped teacup. The older Tilly smiled and said softly, "Careful, that one stirs more than tea." The end.